Nan McKay, and I would like to introduce you today to Pamela Plick. Pamela is on a mission to help women confidently build wealth from the inside out. As CEO and founder of Pamela Plick Wealth Management, LLC, and she's also an author of the Amazon bestseller book that we're going to talk about, Rise to Your Money Power. Pamela has helped hundreds of purpose-driven women find their money power through her programs and services. She provides the education, the strategies, the tools to grow financial confidence, security, and freedom. So welcome, Pamela.
Thank you, Nan. I'm just excited for this conversation today. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. You're such a great person to talk with, and you've got so much good advice. You have an impressive background as well as a certified financial planner, a money coach, and also, of course, as an author. Can you share a pivotal moment in your journey after your divorce, which I think was a fairly important factor in making you where you are today, but you tell me if that's true, in that journey after your divorce to let you focus, that led you in that path to focus on helping women build wealth and financial confidence?
Absolutely. Let me first start out by saying that I'm so grateful that I have a thriving business that I love, working with the type of clients I love, not only with the financial freedom, but also freedom to be able to spend time with my friends and family and to support the causes that I'm passionate about. Now, that was not always the case. As you mentioned, with my divorce, which was a number of years ago, everything was planned except the divorce. And at the time, I had just accepted a wonderful entry-level position in banking and finance. And my son was only 2 years old at the time. So ultimately, my ex-husband and I decided to separate and finally divorce. Now, I wasn't planning to be the sole breadwinner for my son and I, or to raise my son on my own. But that's what happened. And, at the time, I didn't have a practical financial plan. It was really a scary time. And although, my plan was to work really hard so that I could get promoted, move up the corporate ladder to be able to provide the financial security for my son and myself. And I did, yes, I moved up the corporate ladder. However, at the expense of less time with my son. And after years of being in corporate America, I actually was burnt out in terms of my, not only burnt out physically, but mentally as well as spiritually. And so I had to really take a look at what I really wanted out of life. There's some beliefs I had to overcome. I had to overcome the belief that I had to work really, really hard to get ahead. I also needed to practice forgiveness, not only for my husband, but also for myself. Forgive myself for what I perceived as a failure at the time. And now looking back, it was a catalyst to move me into the direction that that I'm in now. And I also really needed to look at or overcome the limiting belief that maybe I wasn't worthy to have the type of life that I envisioned. But after getting support and gaining clarity, I was able to really answer the questions, what is it that you really want to do? I knew I wasn't meant to be in corporate America forever. And so what did I want to do? What was my purpose? And so I stepped into more education, got my CFP designation, also became a certified money coach. And all of this originally was to enhance my education, my knowledge in terms of how to create the freedom that I wanted. And as I progressed in my career, I came across a lot of women who were not ready to take that inspired action to create the financial freedom that they envisioned, because maybe they needed to heal something in their relationship with money, or they were just not engaged around their relationship with money. So when I opened my practice, I made it my mission to empower women, women to confident, purpose-driven women, women who know that they're here to make the world a better place through the work that they do, to empower them to confidently build wealth from the inside out. And so today, again, I'm running a thriving business, and I love my life, and my son is a wonderful man, and I have a beautiful daughter-in-law. So I am just so grateful that my journey has led me here.
But it probably took some real courage to be able to start that business on your own, didn't it?
It did. And that's interesting because, one of the things that I tell women is to hold on to your vision. It's okay that no one else sees your vision, because the universe gave it to you. And I did have some naysayers saying, why do you want to go and start your own business? You're going from a steady paycheck to something new. But then again, I had an awesome mentor who told me that, because I point blank asked him, I said, do you think I can grow a thriving financial services business? And he said, if anybody can do it, you can do it. And so it was nice, even though there were those naysayers, it was nice to have someone in my corner, to mentor me along.
It's wonderful that you had that person. Now, you mentioned that women have really unique financial planning and investment needs and are often underserved by most professional advisors. Can you elaborate on some of these unique needs and why they're frequently overlooked?
Sure. We do have unique needs when it comes to managing planning for our long-term finances. First of all, we live longer, right? As a rule, women live longer than men. And a lot of times, we're raised to be the caregivers. We're raised to be the nurturers. A lot of times we do take time out of our careers to care for children or other family members. And when we're taking this time out, then that means we're not contributing to our retirement plans, not contributing to Social Security. So when it comes to retirement, we end up having less resources than our male counterparts. And a lot of times too, with women, our spouses, if we marry a spouse that's a little bit older, a lot of the resources as we age go to supporting the male in the family. And then by the time it comes for women to have that care that they need, there's no money there. So it's really important. And as a rule, also, we are we're more conservative than men when it comes to our finances or investments. So it's really important, that women stand in their money power so that they can create that financial freedom. We want to plan for a longer rather than a shorter retirement. And women, as in general, we are the collaborators. Men compete, but women collaborate. And a lot of times, and I think it's changing a little bit because it's, now the focus, advisors are learning more how to work with women. But in the past, it's kind of like they want to make the recommendations and just tell you, okay, you need to follow my recommendation. But
do this, do this.
yes, do this, do this, and that comes from the male. Men have a tendency to want to fix us, but we want to collaborate. I tell women, you need to be able to ask questions, and so make sure that you are a partner. Women shouldn't blindly, and we'll talk a little bit more about this a little bit later, but women shouldn't blindly turn their finances over to anyone. You need to be in partnership with that person. Yes, you want to have trusted advisors, but you need to be able to understand what they're recommending and why.
And whether you agree or disagree, you might disagree.
Yes, absolutely. You could disagree. But the important thing is that making sure that you are engaged. I had a client once, and she's my absolute favorite client. She passed away a couple years ago, but she came to me because she opened her statement. And this was after the downturn, in the market some years ago. She came to me because she opened her statement and realized that half of her retirement portfolio was gone. It had dropped. Her portfolio had dropped by 50%. And she had called the advisor, and he seemed surprised. He didn't realize that it had dropped. So that kind of told me that he really wasn't paying attention, and so she really wanted someone that would be a partner and educate her. And I truly believe that an educated client is a better client. And so we have to protect ourselves and really be a partnership, because at the end of the day, it's your money, right? It's not that advisor's money, it's your money.
Yeah, the advisor could say, too bad, so sad, but they get to walk away.
Yeah.
You don't.
Absolutely.
Now, your approach merges really three things: the spiritual, the emotional, and the practical aspects of money. Can you share an example or maybe a case study where addressing these aspects made a significant difference in a client's financial journey?
Sure. And this is the foundation of how I work with my clients. And I want to start by saying that our money beliefs are actually imprinted upon us as children. So if we think back to how money was talked about in the household, was it talked about? Was there a feeling of prosperity, that there was enough, or was there a feeling of lack in the home? And all of that goes into imprinting the beliefs upon us. And those beliefs, they show up in our daily lives. And it could be spiritual, if there was a religious, you grew up in a religious home, some of the things that were said, related to religion and money. Also the mental, because we have a lot of emotions, and money decisions are made based on those emotions, whether it's anger, frustration, fear, and so we have to look at those. When I work with clients, we understand what the beliefs are, where they originated, and how can we shift those beliefs. Because the last pillar is action, taking action, right? But if something is, if you know what to do, you need to create that retirement plan, you need to pay down your debt or whatever it is, the action that you need to take, but you're not doing it, then there's something that needs to be addressed in the other two pillars. And that's what I focus on with my clients, because we need to address those other two in order to take that inspired action on the next step of our journey, whatever that might be. And one client recently that I worked with, wonderful client, she her goal was to leave her corporate job and transition, officially retire from her corporate job. But what retirement looked like for her was to start a new business. She loves health and fitness, or health and wellness. She's passionate about that. And she wanted to start her new business and relocate to another country. That's her dream. But when she came to me, she was really not confident about making financial decisions. And she would, although she had a great income, she couldn't save, because she would spend, pay it off, but get into debt, pay it off, spend it again. So just in that cycle, so she just wasn't confident. And so we looked at, again, what were those beliefs? Where'd they come from? Her story, her money story. We put tools in place in terms of how to shift those beliefs. And sometimes, that mind chatter comes up. The research has shown that 95% of our thoughts are negative. They're unconscious and they're negative. So, but the thing is, we have to recognize, be able to recognize those thoughts and be able to shift them into positive thoughts, and create, and also created some tools for her, as well as an action plan. And so I was so excited that I got a recent email from her, a long email that explained all of the things that she's accomplished and over the past couple of months, and that she's so excited and she's on track, to achieve her goal and be able to transition.
Pamela, that really hits home for me, because when I was 11, we had lived had a good lifestyle. My dad was chief accountant for Caterpillar, and I thought everything was okay. And one day he had a car accident and he was killed. And unbeknownst to us, he had gambled for years, and we were deeply in debt to so many people in this very small town. And I look back and I say, did that affect me? Well, of course it did in other ways, but I think the money piece comes back, because people look at me and say, why at your age are you still working so hard? Why do you get in here in the morning at 6 o'clock and you're still there at 6 o'clock at night and you're working away? And I think the answer, partially, even though I enjoy what I do, but partially the answer is because my mother always said, always be able to support your family, always be able to make enough money to support your family. And so I think that's maybe why I'm still thinking, but you never know what's going to happen. I better go ahead and just keep working hard, because maybe, something will happen. I think that's part of what that's how it resonated with me when you said that.
Yes. And that's wonderful. Yeah. And, and the thing is, now that you recognize that, maybe looking at, is this true? Is this belief true? Because you're very successful. Is that true? That are you taken care of? Is your family taken care of? And the answer is yes. Then maybe, you don't have to. That's kind of a limiting belief that needs to be overcome.
Yeah. Even though I'd hate to not do it, because I have so much fun in here doing it.
Oh no. Yes, you show up. I mean, you have something to bring to the world, right? Yes, you have a message to bring to the world. Not saying don't show up, but having a little more balance, showing up for the right reason, because you're passionate about what you do. You have, you want to help, not because you're coming from a place of lack, thinking that if I don't work, we're not going to be taken care of. Yeah.
Now you've expanded your services, and you now include instruction at universities, you host workshops, you do professional speaking engagements. Can you share a memorable moment from maybe one of those platforms where you really felt you made a significant impact?
Yes, there were so many, but one in particular that was a little bit unique and that I just really love, because one of the passions that I have is making an impact in women's philanthropy. And why that's important to me is women give differently than men. Usually men, when they have a philanthropic cause, it's tied to a university, maybe their alumni or that type of thing. But for women, when we give, we make an impact in our community and an impact, we want to help the world. And so I chaired a Women's Philanthropy Day event, and chaired, and I was also the MC. And it was so wonderful to bring together a panel of women philanthropists, that were making an impact in our community and in the world. And what really struck me about these ladies is very wealthy ladies. And one of them in particular said she came into her own after her husband passed away. And I thought that was really interesting, but I love that we were able to bring that awareness to our community, in terms of women, women making an impact. And it was just really memorable. And I just loved, loved that day, loved the day and the women who showed up to share their message.
It sounds wonderful. You really offer a range of services. You go from money coaching to financial planning to wealth management. How do you assess which service is most appropriate for that client? And then how do you tailor your approach to their individual needs and circumstances?
Sure. Now, I want to say, first of all, yes, I have the two sides to my practice. For women that have a great relationship with money, they've amassed some assets, but what they're wanting to do is they need a roadmap to get from where they are to where they want to be long term, or they want to make sure that they're on track financially to get to where they are. That's my financial planning and wealth management side. And I do offer a complimentary consultation to see if it's a good fit, because I do prepare comprehensive financial plans. Now, on the money mastery, money coaching and money mastery side, for women that are wanting to maybe heal something in their relationship with money, maybe heal one of the three pillars, or they they really want to create a better relationship with money. That's my money mastery and my money mastery side. And I do offer a money power breakthrough call to help them identify, what those blocks are, create a mini plan to help them move forward on their next steps. And then we look at, is it really a good fit for us to work together to help them create the financial freedom that they desire. So on the money coaching side, it's all about creating that good relationship with money, creating that foundation so that they're ready to take that next inspired step, whatever that is for the client. If that's to create the financial plan, and then that's what's next. And what I love is that I am able to support, a woman wherever she is on her financial journey, then I can support her. And I just love that I'm able to do that.
I can see where it would be rewarding because they can really make progress that they can see and you can see.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What are some of the surprising and maybe unrealized ways that women give away their money power?
Sure. There are three. The first one we talked a little about earlier, turning over your finances, letting someone else take care of your finances. And we talked about that we need to be a partner in that. It's, yes, you want to have trusted advisors, but you shouldn't blindly turn over the management of your finances to anyone, whether it's a spouse or a financial advisor or another family member, because you want to be a partner. Again, you don't want anyone else to be responsible for your financial future. So that's number one. And then the second one is putting others' needs ahead of your own. And for those of us who are mothers, we can certainly relate to this, right? Again, earlier we talked about, typically we're the nurturers, we're the caregivers, and we're taught to put everyone else's needs ahead of our own. And what I tell my clients, the best thing that you can do for your adult children is to make sure that you're taken care of financially so that you're not a burden to them in your later years. Now, I'm not saying cut the kids off cold turkey if you have an adult child that's constantly needing assistance, but there's lots of things that, that you can do. You can pay for them to work with a financial planner to get things in order, but, letting them know that, hey, you know what, I really need to make sure that I'm taken care of. So we need to get you in a position where you are financially independent of me. And that's one of, there's 8 money archetypes, which are not our money personality, but it's really our energy around money. And that one of those archetypes is the martyr. And that's the one that's always taking care of everyone else. And that's kind of what I equate that to. And then the number one way is through procrastination. A lot of times, if we don't know what to do, we just don't do anything, right? We don't know what to do. So it's like, okay, well, I'm just not going to
be over here. Don't worry about it.
Bury our heads in the sand. I use the analogy of the ostrich, right? With the head in the sand, but really, is that serving us? But the good news is this one is easily overcome, through financial education, getting the support that, that we need. You can gain the confidence because it's usually the procrastination is out of fear. And we can easily overcome that.
True. What can we do right now to maybe take back our money power and build a foundation for an empowered relationship with money?
Sure. There's actually 4 steps that that women can take. Number 1 is to create your vision. We talked about vision earlier, and our vision is our compass, right? And our vision is using our imagination to see what's possible. So whatever that big, grand vision is for you, then that's what you want to focus on. Write it out, put it where you can see it every day. And then not just related to finances, but all the areas of your life, whether it's spiritual, career, relationships, health, whatever it might be, making sure you write out that big grand vision and hold it as your compass, because it's kind of hard to achieve a goal or achieve a vision if you don't have clarity about what that is.
I wrote that down. I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. And the second is to understand the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. Kind of think about what are the beliefs that were imprinted upon me as a child that are showing up, not only in our personal life, because I truly believe that our relationship with money directly impacts how successful we are, not only in our personal lives, but in our business lives as well. So what are those limiting beliefs that are affecting you personally, as well as preventing you from growing your business or growing your career as you envision? You know, are you thinking, I'm not good with money, or I'm not worthy of the success that I desire? If it wasn't for my divorce, I'd be better off financially. You know, so getting rid of those beliefs that really no longer serve you. And then third is to empower yourself with financial education. And, you know, this is where it helps kicking that procrastination to the curb, because, you know, if you empower yourself, and one key thing a woman can do is read at least one piece of financial information every day. And you want to make sure what you read, though, because we can get into overwhelm on the internet, but what you read is something that is educational, not put out by somebody that wants to sell you something. So getting that financial education, whether it means reading information, whether it means attending workshops, or even joining communities. You know, there's online communities of like-minded women as well that are going through the same journey. And then the last step is to take action. And it's not just taking random action. You know, I believe in taking inspired action. And what that means is you have your vision, right? You know that your vision aligns with your values. You're creating an action plan to help you get to that vision. And so you take the next inspired step.
Well, Pamela, you've just given us so much to think about and so many valuable tips. How can people best contact you if they would like to work with you?
The best way to contact me for the viewers is to go to PamelaPlick.com/thank you. And that's PamelaPlick.com/thank you. And I have some free resources available that will help you begin the journey, you know, to creating the financial freedom you would like. If you'd like to schedule a time to talk with me one-on-one, the link is there as well. And, you know, once you're there, you know, take some time to look around and look at the other resources that are available to empower you around your relationship with money.
I would really encourage everybody to log on to your website, the PamelaPlick.com, and particularly look at her blog. She's got a real good blog on there and a video, I think, on it. And it's called Journey to Greatness, 7 Keys to Break Self-Limiting Beliefs, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And I think that everybody would find that really helpful. Well, thank you so much for being here. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
I just want to say in closing that you know, now is the time for women to stand strong in their relationship with money, because it's the gateway to confident forward movement. And I just really encourage you to do that.
Well, thank you so much. And we know you can help them too. Thank you, Pamela. I appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you so much, Nan. It's been a pleasure.